Is your life like a house of cards about ready to collapse?
Okay, that is depressing. I mean, talk about doom and gloom.
Well, hold it. You never tried to build something and work hard to get it together and then have it all destroyed?
Okay, well, now that sounds different. In fact, it makes me think of the times our family loves to build sand castles.
Okay.
Well, actually, sand cities.
Yeah, they go over the top.
And we spend so much time on them, and I'll never forget one time, this little 4-year-old spoiled brat
I can see it
comes and just starts stomping all through our city, and like in seconds, gone.
Okay, it kills me because that happened too. Friends of mine, we built this huge snowman, 7-foot tall snowman.
Oh my goodness.
You know, hat, arms, you know, the nose and everything going on, beautiful. I built it for my granddaughters. I was so proud of it.
Did they love it?
Only in the night, some teenagers came and kicked it right over. I was so choked, you know. I mean, but what do? You got these 3 big snowballs on the ground, and granddaughters aren't going to see nothing. So
okay,
basically,
that just ticks me off, though. I can't stand kids doing stuff like that.
But what do you got? You can complain. I can't find the kids and thump them. So I basically had to rebuild the snowman so my daughters, you know, granddaughters could really enjoy it.
Okay, well, that's a great perspective. I still would have been frustrated and complaining, but that's okay. You know, as frustrating it is to have sandcastles and snowmen collapse, it's actually very trivial in comparison to our collapsing world economy.
Oh, things are really tough these days. As a matter of fact, so many families working hard to build their lives, and they run into these amazing trashing times where there's cutbacks, rollbacks, setbacks, and downturns in the economy that just wreck the family finances.
Some of our closest friends, not just laid off, but for months now, they've gone through their entire savings, and they are at a crisis.
Yeah, and you know, this present recession is affecting families all around the world.
We're talking about your neighborhood, our neighborhood. I mean, you're seeing cars drive away, houses foreclose. It's scary.
It's really tough out there. But you know what? Financial problems are one of the #1 reasons why marriages fall apart, and one of the greatest stresses for families that do stay together.
Because we take it all out on each other, and that's always going to mess it up.
You and I can't do anything about the overall global recession, can we?
No, we cannot solve the global crisis, but we can talk about what's going on in your home.
Yeah, you know what? Whether it's your family, your marriage, or your life, I want you to know there is hope for your family in this economic downturn. You stay with us. Okay, we got to figure it out. People and money, you know, they just, you know, don't mix sometimes. You know, you got all these sandcastles, snowman falling apart, you know.
Well, I tell you what, it's interesting. 1 out of 2 people in a recent poll said that the economy is by far the greatest crisis we're facing.
Okay, not terrorism, you know, not wars, you know, not even healthcare. It's the economy.
Yeah, and that is what they're concerned with. And it was interesting that almost 1 out of 2 said they blame the government.
Well, who else?
Well, of course. But I think, why spend our time figuring out who to blame? Let's talk about what we can do about it.
Exactly. We're thrilled to have one of the greatest advisors in finance across the country with us. Matter of fact, my personal financial planner on Money Manners for almost 25 years, certified financial planner himself, Mr. Brad Willems. Would you welcome Brad? Okay, this is a little deja vu.
Why?
Well, because the truth is, okay, y'all listening out there, I was both of their college professors.
Yes.
Okay.
I got an A. What did you get, Brad?
Probably C.
But he was a good hockey player. I coached him, so right on.
No, seriously, though. A lot of us, when we think of our families, we spend a lot of time building and saving for those sandcastles. And this giant wave has just hit us. How have you seen that with your clients?
The wave is a great way to put it. This has been a downturn of Great Depression standards, basically.
Serious,
in many ways.
equivalent.
In many respects, it is. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I hear, is that they're calling it the Depression from the 30s.
There's lots of things that are very, very different, but it has had the global impact of that decade in very similar ways because it's affected every area of the world. There's been no area of the world that's been immune.
Now, why did the 30s Depression not affect the entire globe, and yet this one is?
Partially because we didn't have the developed world of Eastern Asia at that time. They were very undeveloped. They weren't part of the main economy, and the U.S. was the main driver of the global economy. And the economies back then were so small. I mean, they were agricultural-based economies, and when we had the drought that accompanied the financial ruin, it created such a major ripple across North America, more so than other places. It definitely affected Europe, but North America was far more affected.
Now, my world, of course, working with families, you work with people in the financial realm. I mean, we see the fear and panic in different ways, right? But let's talk for a minute about what you see in your clients as far as panicking, and I'll tell you what I'm seeing in mine.
Okay. Well, I think I like the terms you use, fear and panic, because they're two emotions we use to describe it, but I think they're quite different. Fear is a normal, healthy response to danger. And this is a situation where there is danger. There's danger to our financial affairs.
Lose some money.
Yeah, exactly. And lose my job and lose a lot of things in this environment. So fear is a normal, healthy relationship. Panic is an irrational response to it, or it's a response which will not create any long-term benefit.
You can do some damage if you panic.
Right.
That's a great
Panic
insight.
will always get you in trouble. Fear is a healthy response to danger around you. And so I've seen both. I've seen both when we talk to our clients. There are those who are in panic mode. And
should we be panicking? I mean, I'm dying to know, is this all media driven? I mean, you know, or should we be?
I don't believe you ever should panic. I don't think you make good decisions when you panic. I think it's a time to make very strong evaluations of where you're at. Very strong decision making in a process like this will help get you through it. Panic will almost always lead you to make a bad decision.
But we have so many people, instead of their mindset being, okay, we're going to get ahead as a family, you know, man meets woman, get married, kids, car, house, dog, right? I mean, we think through the sequence, and it's getting ahead.
Right.
All of a sudden we face this, and it doesn't work that way. There's cutbacks, rollbacks, layoffs. I mean, what does a family do when it's not that open progression feeling?
Well, there's a lot of readjusting taking place. There's a lot of readjusting taking place in every family, whether it's a newlywed, a middle-aged couple putting their kids through college, or a senior who's now having to live on a fraction of their previous assets that they had. And it is creating a lot of stress because of the new reality. There just isn't what there was before.
Okay, can we take those three people? Let's take the newlyweds. And you said don't panic, right? We need to make smart decisions. What would be some of those things that we should be making decisions about?
This is interesting. I think the newlyweds, or the people at the real starters, are in a phenomenal position.
Really?
Because
stink.
There you go, Mitch and Dana, get married. Good, okay.
Real estate assets have plummeted, which has meant that many people are going to be able to afford a home who could not have ever afforded a home.
So this is the time to buy a home.
This is the general time to buy a home.
Okay.
I'm not saying
It's a better time.
This is a much better time because prices are a fraction of what they were before. Interest rates all across the globe are very low, so the affordability is very high at this point in time. So for those people, it's a great opportunity. If you're a new saver, it's a great time because you're buying assets now at a fraction of the price that they were even a year ago.
Okay, can we jump now to you're putting your kid through college?
Okay, we can jump there in a minute.
Okay.
Now listen. Economic pressures like this suck the life out of a family, suck the life out of a relationship, you know? And the higher the pressures, the greater the tensions in the home. Go to our website, and you'll see our best recommended resources for financial planning for your family, and stay with us for the next segment on how it's going to affect families more and more. Stay with us.